بإحسان إلى يوم وفيهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. وفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Yes, thank you, my brother, for welcoming me. It's my honor being here with you. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like the way He made us meet here in this world, also He makes us meet in the next life, inshallah. So I'm trying to share that the PowerPoint that I have tried to make. Is everyone seeing the PowerPoint?
Not yet, Avi.
What about now?
Oh, okay. It's
A bit.
okay now.
It's visible.
Okay. Yes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. as Brother Amir said, that when we were doing the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha, there was a question about the cosmic time that I just briefly mentioned. And there was a request that I do a whole lecture on it. And I said that, because Ramadan, it was specifically for the tafsir of Quran, I cannot enter into this topic because we didn't have time for it. And I said maybe after Ramadan, if people still request the topics, then we can continue from there. So today, inshallah, we're going to look at the cosmic time and the Quran. Maybe most of the people don't know about what is the cosmic time and is it there in the Quran? Is it very clear in the Quran, or is just people thinking about it? That's the topic of today, inshallah. And as we know, and we are in the era where we have a lot of scientific discoveries. We have a lot of scientific discoveries. So a lot of issues that come up today from the science, and we see that it is found there in the Quran or it is not found in the Quran. It's one of the hot topics, yani, the science and the Quran. So it will be also good for us to look at these kinds of topic, especially the cosmic, which is one of the most recent. A lot of discoveries that are done when it comes to the cosmic. So number one, I would like to discuss about what is cosmic time. What is cosmos? The word cosmic time comes from the word cosmos, which means the universe itself and whatever that is inside, the things that are found inside the universe. So the universe and everything that is found inside is the word which comes from the cosmos. And the cosmic time now is coming from that word, which refers to the time measurement within the expanding universe as defined by models like the Big Bang Theory. So refers to the time measurement. How can you measure time in the universe? So the cosmic time means the time that is measured in the universe, and still in the starting of the universe until right now. How much time has it passed? And what happened at what time during that the creation of the universe? So when we say cosmic time, it means the time of which the universe has taken since the starting of the universe until right now. So that is the cosmic time. So also in the cosmic time, they divide the times into different times, periods. The Big Bang time, the formation, the time of the protons and electrons, the time of energy and just those protons, the time where the first stars were formed, the time where the galaxies were formed, the times where our Milky Way started forming, the time where the Earth was forming, and those times, yani, that is what is called the cosmic time. So the time that is given to the universe and whatever the events that are happening, that happened in the universe and until now. So clocks at rest relative to expanding space are used to measure cosmic time, and they are assumed to have been set to 0 at the beginning of the universe. So they think, according to the Big Bang Theory, before it there was nothing, and the Big Bang Theory came with the theory of relativity, and the theory of the time and space. You know, the space and time thing came after the Big Bang. So that's how the scientists believe. That is not what Muslims believe, yani. That is where we differ, yani, where we part ways. We don't believe that the universe started. We don't believe that, and the time started and the space started with the Big Bang theory and with the Big Bang. Yani. So we believe there was time and space before it, and the Big Bang is part of the space that Allah SWT has created for it. And the also Big Bang, it also has a time where Allah prescribed for it to happen. And we believe that as Muslims, Big Bang is something that was there because there is a verse in the Quran, which we are going to look at it later on. So they assume, as scientists, they assume that during the time of Big Bang is the time where the time and space relation started. Before it, there was no time and there was no space for them. Yeah. So they assume being set to 0 at the beginning of the universe, which is the Big Bang for them. So that is what is cosmic time. And sometimes, because I started with this because when I was talking to some people, I saw that some people don't know about the cosmic time, the definition of it. What is it? Yeah. So we have written there the cosmic time and the Quran. Maybe some of us would not have known what we are going to talk about. Yeah. So this is the topic, yeah, the cosmic time, and what science says about what happened in the universe, the events of the universe, when they happened, how long did it take for them to happen, and what Quran says about it. Yes. So the cosmic time. Let us look at what science says about the cosmic time. So the universe age, the age of the universe is almost 13.8 billion years from the calculation of from the expansion theory and other theories. Yani, they discovered after some time they discovered that the universe is expanding, and I think most of us know about it. They discovered, one of the scientists, astronomists, discovered using a very powerful microscope that the universe is expanding. And they discovered it, and they said that the universe is expanding more than the speed of light. And that is a fact of science nowadays. Yeah. It is expanding more than the speed of light. And also another question they ask is that if it is expanding more than the speed of light, what is expanding more than the speed of light? Because according to Einstein, the theory of relativity, that there is nothing that is it has more speed than the speed of light. Nothing has more speed than the speed of light. So, but the universe itself is expanding more than the speed of light. So there is something that is expanding more than the speed of light. So among the things that have more speed than the speed of light is the universe itself, the way it is expanding. And that's why they came up with the theories of the black matter and, and other things which they don't see and they don't know about. And so the universe age is 13.8 billion, and the number of age they take is from the theory of the expansion of the universe. They said at this moment it is expanding more than the speed of light, and they try to go back where it is coming from. So if it is expanding, it means there is somewhere that is coming from. So these calculations, it showed that the universe is almost 13.8 billion plus or minus millions of years. This is not an exact thing, but it is plus or minus millions of years. So it is either 14 billions of years or it is 13.5 there. So the age of the universe. So for example, we meet ourselves and we ask, how old are you? We say 28 years, 29 years, 30 years, 40 years. But if you ask the universe, how old are you? And the universe will tell you, I'm 13.8 approximately billions of years. And also, according to, they also did some calculations and researches about how old is the Earth. How old is this Earth? And they found it is 4.54 billions of years. And also, they used different ways of finding how old is the Earth. They used the rocks, the oldest rocks, to look at their times, and also materials that are coming down on Earth. They look at their ages and they just approximate. They say Earth is almost 4.54 billions of years. So when you look at this, you find that when you look at the age of the Earth and the age of the universe, the Earth is a third of the age of the universe. So the universe lived after 2/3 of the universe, then the Earth was created, and the Earth started forming after 2/3. So because Earth is a third of the universe, Earth is a third of the age of the universe. So after 2/3 of the universe, then the Earth started forming after 2/3. So in the last third of the age of the universe, that's where the Earth started forming. So whatever that happened on Earth happened after 2/3 of the age of the universe. And also they say this just by the way information that I'm giving right now, so that you understand how old the universe is. So they say the human civilization started 200,000 years ago. According to the scientific discoveries or calculations, is that if, for example, us as as Muslims, we believe that human beings started by the creation of Adam. So according to science, the calculations, it means Adam was created 200 years ago, just 200 years ago, but universe is 13.8 billions of years ago. So because these numbers are very big, 13.8 billions, these numbers are very big. We can calculate them, but they are very big, so we cannot comprehend these numbers. As human minds cannot comprehend this huge amount of numbers. So someone who was a scientist and astronomer called Carl Sagan. I know most of them. Maybe he's even an atheist. I think he's one of the co-atheist scientists. But he came up with a very interesting thing on how to make the age of the universe be comprehended by the human mind. The concept of putting, and he came with the cosmic calendar to put 13.8 billions of years, or for example, the age of Earth to be 4 point something billions. When you look at the stars, something billion, a lot of zeros. When you look at the numbers of the age of the universe, this is not something that human beings can comprehend. So what do we understand from 13.8 billions of years of the universe, and what do we understand from the 4.5 billions of years? We cannot comprehend that age. We can only comprehend 28 years, 100 years, 2 centuries, and but billions of years, the human mind cannot comprehend. We might have the information, but comprehending it and understanding what does it mean by 13.8 billions of years, the human mind cannot comprehend. So he came up with a concept which is cosmic calendar, to put this all the years of the universe until now in 1 year calendar, so that the human mind can comprehend. And what do you mean by the 13.8 billion of years where the Big Bang happened, and 4.5 billions when the Earth was forming, another billions of years when other events were happening. So for us to understand these events, the sequence of the events, he put all those years into just 1 year calendar, and that they call it the cosmic calendar, and a calendar for the cosmos. So that for us to understand the sequence of the events that happened since the creation, since the starting of the Big Bang theory. So imagine an example for us to understand this calendar. Imagine the Big Bang theory to be at the midnight of the 1st of January. Imagine, Big Bang to be at the midnight 0000, midnight of the 1st of January. Imagine, of this calendar, and so when if the Big Bang is at the midnight of the first day of January, then that time after some minutes, then the protons came and the energy, and then after some time the stars started forming on March. I know around March there, the Milky Way started forming, and then the scientists put the formation of the Earth between end of September or early September. Which you look at it, and it is 8 months of 8 months of the 12 months. So it's still after 2/3 of the creation. I mean, the 2/3 after the 2/3 of the age of the universe. That's when the Earth started forming. So when you look at the calculations according to how old is the universe, according to the theories they had that I have explained before, and how old the Earth is, and also when you look at the calendar that this person has put for us to see the sequence of the universe, all say that the Earth formed after the 2/3 of the universe, yeah, after the 2/3 of the universe. So I'm just giving a lot of information about what science says, yani, when it comes to cosmos and the cosmic time, yani. And I'm only focused on the universe itself and the Earth, and because that is where we can understand things, we can relate, yani, this Earth and the universe. Yani. I don't see the point of us going to giving more details about the stars and other events that happen, because that is not the topic of ours today. That's why I'm just focused on the age of the universe and the age of the Earth. So I think we have understood the cosmic calendar, and putting the concept of putting the whole cosmic time since the Big Bang until now in just 1 year calendar for the human mind to comprehend about the events that happened throughout the history of the universe. So that is one scholar, Carl Sagan, that he had put, and that's how it happened. So, and according to that calendar, according to the calendar that the person has put all these events inside, and it is just 2 seconds away, 2 seconds before that Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, was born. It is just 1 second before that Rasulullah was born, and whatever happened in that area until right now, it is just 1 second that has passed. Yeah, Rasulullah has just been born 1 second ago in that calendar. So that's how immense it is, this calendar. And also at the same time, according to this calendar, whatever that's going to happen after this, we're all going to be in that, we're going to be in part of that calendar. And until the end of time, we're all going to be part of that calendar, 1 year calendar. So it's just squeezing itself like that. Yeah. So this calendar is very significant because it is putting all the events that happened since the Big Bang until the end of time in just 1 year. And the more the time goes, the more the calendar is squeezing itself inside and putting all the events inside. Yeah. So according to that calendar, it's only 1 second ago that Rasulullah was born and that he came with the message, and those things happened after that until now. It's just 1 second. And they said, if a person lives, for example, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to a person 109 years to live on earth, that means it's only a quarter of a second when you relate it to the age of the universe. A quarter of a second when related to the age of the universe. And you are just a quarter of a second according to that 1 year calendar. Yeah, just a quarter. Is not in that calendar, you are not even a quarter of the second. This is a quarter of a second of the years of the age of the universe. So if you just also live 109 years, you just have a quarter of the second according to the years, the age of the universe. Yeah. So that's how insignificant a human being is. Yeah. Even if you live more than 100 years, still you are just a quarter of a second of the age of the universe. What are you in the calendar, cosmic calendar? You are none, nowhere to be seen. Yani. So if you can do your own calculations, if 1 year is equivalent to 23.8 billions of years, what is if 23.8 billions of years is equivalent to 1 year, what is a quarter of a second in that 1 year? Yani, you can see how insignificant our lives and our time that we have on this earth. Yani. So that is just how to understand the amount of time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and how vast is the time and space that are found in the universe. So taking you away from the science now, I want to take you now to the Quran. Yani, because we are trying to put the two concepts together. Yani. The cosmic time, we see what the scientists are saying in that field, and also we come to the Quran now. So before I start by saying what Quran says, I want to give some points about the introduction to the scientific tafsir of the Quran. This is a new way of understanding Quran that has been put forward by scholars in the last centuries, from 19th century until 20th century. And it is just 19th and 20th century that this new type of tafsir has been taken out. So it's a new type of tafsir. Before they used to give tafsir of Quran, for example, according to the stories of fiqh, jurisprudence, or they used to give the type of Quran, tafsir of Quran according to Sayyra, or a tafsir of Quran according to this and that. And there are a lot of types of tafsir of the Quran, a lot of types. Everyone is focused on specific issues. For example, Ibn Kathir, he was focusing on just narrations that are found from Rasulullah or the companions about every verse in the Quran. That is how the tafsir of Ibn Kathir is formed. His idea was to come with all the narrations that are found from the Rasulullah or the companions or the tabi'in that talk about each verse from the Quran. So that's how perspective on how to understand Quran from the narrations that are found from the Rasulullah and the Sahabas and the past 3 centuries. That is his idea of Ibn Kathir, and that's why he wrote that Quran. When you look to other scholars, for example, Zamakhshari, he wrote a tafsir of Quran on the linguistic, Arabic. And when you go to read tafsir of Quran of Zamakhshari, you're going to be just focusing on the Arabic language that are found in the Quran. So there are a lot of types of tafsir of Quran. When you come to the 19th and 20th century, there's a new one that has come up, and the introduction to the scientific tafsir of the Quran. Now there are other Quran that has been written, tafsir of the Quran, but this is just focusing on the scientific, the modern science that is found in the Quran. So that is found, it doesn't mean that the tafsirs that were written before, there's nothing about science inside. It doesn't mean that, they mentioned, but just focusing on the scientific discoveries in the Quran, that's something very new. And the scholars who were before, they didn't have enough information from the science, just like the way the scholars that have right now. We have more facts when it comes to science than the scholars who were before. So they didn't have a lot of information at hand for them to write down a Quran specifically for science, scientific discoveries. So that's why sometimes you can find a lot of mistakes that scholars before, 5, 6, 7 centuries before, the scholars of tafsir that have written about the science in the Quran, sometimes they come to verses that they could not comprehend because some scientific facts were not yet discovered during their time. So they try to understand them according to the information at hand. So sometimes they miss it, and sometimes they find it correct. They say it's correct, and sometimes also are mesmerized. Sometimes even with the lack of information that they heard about the scientific discoveries, sometimes they mention things that the scholars, the science comes to find out later on. For example, I want to give an example so that we understand. For example, about the verse that we're going to discuss later on, when Allah SWT is talking about the 6 days of the creation of the universe, all the scholars, they say it is not the days that we are talking right now, 24 hours. They talk about periods. Until that time, there was no discovery that there are periods of the creation of this earth. There are periods, that period, or the creation of the universe. There are periods. This is later discoveries in science. But all the scholars before, they never say that those 6 days are 24-hour day of this earth. Most of them, they say these are periods. Periods of the creation of the universe. Some scholars also mentioned that it can also be 6 days, but according to what Allah SWT knows the best. Not this days, but it is 6 days, but according to whatever Allah knows the best. And both are right. Both can be right. I'm not saying are right, but can be right. It can be periods and also can be 6 days, but not the 6 days of the earth, but 6 days of other thing and another relation. Other times, other places, time. According to other places, time that Allah SWT has created before the universe. So these are things that we can take from the introduction to the scientific tafsir of the Quran. Number one, I want to mention about the Quran and science is that a quarter of the Quran talks about the creation, as a blessing and thanking God for it. Yani. A quarter, we can say, a quarter of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the creation that He has created and how He's relating the creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created to mentioning them as blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to thank Him. Yani. So a quarter of the Quran talks about the creation, either the universe or the earth or the animals or the oceans or anything else or ourselves also. Yani. So a quarter of the Quran, Allah is using a quarter of the Quran to talk about what He has done in the creation. So we, as Muslims, we are really behind when we see that a lot of things in science that are discovered by non-Muslims. It's like we're not practicing Quran. Yani. Practicing Quran is not only about praying when Allah says Aqim Salah. Yani. Practicing Quran is not only about fasting when Allah says Kutiba alaykum siyam. Practicing Quran is not only about going to Hajj when Allah says وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. And practicing Quran is not only having good characters and those things. Practicing Quran is not only about believing in oneness of Allah. These all are very important, but also practicing Quran also has in it another quarter of the Quran that Allah has used to talk about the creation. When Allah talks about how, look at the camel, the way Allah has created, look at the universe, go and search for the starting of life, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقِ. Go and around the earth and see how the creation of Allah has started. Allah is commanding us to go around the earth to go look at how the creation has started. But this commandment, someone else has come and done it, and then he came up with very weird theories about the human being coming from apes and those theories. Because a Muslim, someone who has belief, didn't go and search for it, and so that he comes up with very beneficial theories. But other people went and they found their own theories, and that is destructive, which is also affecting the lives of human beings right now. So a quarter of the Quran, Allah is speaking about the creation, and He wants us to go and ponder upon the creation. أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Allah is saying, are they not pondering upon the Quran? Are they not pondering upon the creation Allah is mentioning about in the Quran? So Allah is telling us to go and focus on the creation, and also not only focusing on the creation the way the other people have done, but also relating it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looking at them as a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. Yani connecting the creation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making the knowledge of creation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down. The first verse that Allah has sent, for example, you all know, Iqra, Allah says, Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord, the one who has created. Allah is telling us to read in the name of Allah, that we do everything in the name of Allah, and that is Tawheed. But Bismi rabbika alladhi, the one who created. So He's also putting us to focus on the creation that Allah has created. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ عَلَقٍ. He created the man from alaq. What is alaq? How is it alaq? That is the research that we need to go and do as Muslims. Because Allah is telling us, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ, He's putting our focus on that. So, اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The first verse that Allah has sent is for us to read and go after having Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the right belief, the right set of belief, the right morality, the right character. Also after that, we go and learn about the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is going to give us more knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also is going to make us connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a quarter of the Quran, a quarter of it, Allah has used it to speak about the creation that He has created, for us to go and ponder upon it, so that we know Allah better, so that it's going to make us have more knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of which is our main aim. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the main wisdom that Allah has created us is for us to know Him, for us to know the creation that is going to make us know Him and know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Quran also gives signs and focuses on the spirituality and belief. Quran don't give the number 13.8 billion years, 4.5 billions of years, there was a Big Bang theory, which there was protons and electrons. Quran is not giving all those information and details. Quran is only giving us signs of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that us, we need to go and do the research for ourselves so that we can see. So that's another point. Quran is not a scientific book. Quran is a book coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is a guidance for the whole humanity. It is not a scientific book. It has history inside. It has Arabic linguistics inside. It has legal things inside. It has matters of belief inside. It has matters of the hereafter, the character, the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reason of the creation of human beings, and all those answers that the Quran is giving. It's not only about scientific discoveries, but also Quran has that in it. So Quran is not giving details about the creation, a lot of details the way science is giving. Quran is just giving signs for us to go and do research for ourselves and see it for ourselves. Another thing, there are things that we also need to be very careful, things to be careful about when we go and do scientific tafsir of the Quran. Number one is we need to understand that Quran has realities and science has realities. So we need to understand the realities of the Quran, not what we understand from the Quran. Those are two different things. And you might think that these are reality of Quran, but it is not. And also from science, you might think these are reality of science, but it is not. How many times that people misunderstood Quran as a reality, but later on we understood it was not. And how many times people thought a theory of science is a reality, but later on they discovered it is not. For example, the earth being flat. Before, it was a scientific fact that the earth is flat, and later on they discover it is not. It is the shape that we know. So it was a reality before, but it is not right now. So we don't talk about these opinions of people. We talk about as a reality thing in the science. And we also talk about the reality thing of the Quran, not what we understand from the Quran. It might not be the reality, whatever we understand. But the Quran's reality will never go against the scientific realities. As long as it is a reality of the Quran, and as long as it's a reality from the science, those two things will never go against one another, because Quran is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the creation is also a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the owner, the person who, for example, made a laptop, and he knows the laptop better, and he knows where he has put the battery, what he has put inside the battery, where he has put, and what he has put in the screen, and how much is the screen powerful. He knows about it. So Allah, who has created the universe, will never make mistakes about the creation that himself has created. So the scientific reality will never go against the Quranic reality. The problem is us thinking it as a scientific reality, or us thinking it's a Quranic reality. So that's a very important point that we need to understand. So sometimes you might see things that are going against Quran. It's either of the 2 points. It's either the thing that has been discovered is not a reality, they're going to find another reality apart from it, or whatever we understand from the Quran is not a reality. We need to go and do more research from the Quran. So because science and Quran will never go against one another, and never have they found anything that is going that science and Quran is going against one another. Another thing also is that the understanding of science, for us to understand scientific tafsir of the Quran, we need to have a lot of knowledge. It comes with knowledge of different subjects. For us to understand the sciences in the Quran, we need to have a lot of knowledge. The knowledge of the tafsir of Quran itself, how to combine the verses, how to understand verses. We need to have the knowledge of the Arabic language, be it literature or the grammar itself. We need to have that language for us to understand the particular words that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using in the Quran. Without knowing without having the knowledge of the vocabularies, of the grammar, of the literature, of the Arabic language, we can never understand the science in the Quran. So the words that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using in the Quran are specific, chosen words. So we need to understand that also. We need to have the Arabic language within ourselves, yani, for us to understand. Also, we need to have the knowledge of the science itself also. We need to differentiate between theories of people and facts of the science. So we also need to have the knowledge of science at the same time. Yeah. So it's not an easy task when we are talking about scientific tafsir of the Quran. Yeah. And also the point differentiating between an opinion and a fact from both. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about, Yani, since the beginning of this introduction to the scientific tafsir of the Quran. We need to differentiate between opinions of people on the Quran and the facts from the Quran, and also opinions of people on science and the facts from science. Yes. So inshallah, I think I'm going to stop here because time is not with us. I've taken more time today, sorry. Inshallah, next time I'm going to continue from the same topic, creation of the universe in the Quran. We have seen the creation and the creation of the universe in science before. From here, the numbers of years, how the earth has been created after 2/3 of the age of the universe, and those things, yani. Later on, we're going to see what Quran says about it, the creation of the universe, yani, inshallah. So today we have been discussing about the cosmos. What is cosmos? What is cosmic calendar? What is cosmic time? What science says about cosmic time, the numbers of years, the way we see the cosmic calendar we have introduced today, and also the introduction to the scientific tafsir of the Quran and what is important for us to know from it. Inshallah, let us meet next time. I don't know when it is, when it is, but inshallah, when we meet next time, we're going to continue from the same topic, where we're going to talk about the creation of the universe in the Quran. Yeah. What the Quran says about the numbers of years that we have been looking at from science, and inshallah. If someone has a question, I'm going to give like 2-3 minutes, and then we continue. We call it a program, inshallah, a session.
Let me go through the chats. Yeah, Abi Said Abdullah. Abi, for the recordings, Abi, there's a number I've sent there. You can text this number. It's a WhatsApp number. Then I will share all the recordings that I have. And anyone who has a request can also text me through that number concerning the darsa, that is. Any question, Abiler? Okay, Abi, if
there's no question, inshallah, let us meet next time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
صلى الله على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maulana Abi, thank you so much, Abi, for the darsa. I'm sure that it was not an easy research for you, but thank you so much for the effort and for the introduction, inshallah. Let us also invite our friends, Abiler, as we can see that the topic is very interesting. This is for the first time that I'm getting an introduction of this topic personally. So let us invite our friends and our family so that they also benefit from this. Thanks so much, Abi. May Allah increase your wealth of knowledge, inshallah.